PTE Reading Fill in the Blanks considered to be very confusing, difficult, and students are generally focus on the 11th hour preparation, which is generally not good. A regular practice understanding the clear concepts of it will make you through with the reading module. After all, only for the reading module, you should not retake your examinations. So here we revise 3 sample answers. For this, what exactly we have to do? Study the concept first, understand the blanks properly, because the blanks sometimes very close and sometimes very confusing. So what is the reason we pick up the incorrect answers? We will study the 3 sample answers in this video, understand them very clearly and get the correct answers. So here we start. The first blank. Plato dash, one of the greatest philosophers of all time, whose ideas continue to influence education, politics and morality. Dash, his theories were often challenged by critics who questioned dash, the ideal society in his mind could ever exist in reality. What are we talking about? Plato. Who is he? One of the greatest philosophers. What did he do? He had a great influence on education, politics and morality. What is the continuation? Though he was popular, there were critics who challenged his concepts because they considered the ideal society which he was visualizing can never come into reality. We have understood the story. Let's understand the blanks now. Keeps, keeps means goes with an object. That means what actually keeps. When we see the word comes does not fit here. Plato comes one of the greatest philosophers? No. So this is not a correct fit. In the blank, with the blanks what we are reading, we will clearly understand every blank, understand the meaning of it and see whether it fits contextually or it is not a correct fit. When we see the third blank claim, it says declare or argue, which means Plato is not claiming anything here. So this is not a fit. Option number 4. The general meaning of the word remain is stay or wait. But when you see the word here contextually, which is the word remains, then it means something which is true. So here it is a perfect fit. So option number 1 for the blank one is option number 4. How do I read and cross-check? Plato remains as one of the greatest philosophers of all time whose ideas continue to influence education, politics and morality. What is the reason for taking the word remains? It means something which is still true. That is one. And here we have another contextual clue which says continue to influence. So it is still going on. It is a fact. So for that, the correct option is remains. Now, in this way only, we solve the next blank. Here it says dash, his theories were often challenged by critics who questioned dash, the ideal society in his mind could ever exist in reality. So what happened? Though he is a greatest philosopher, his options are generally challenged. So what can be the word? Notwithstanding, however, or so. When we see the real meaning of the words, how notwithstanding is in spite of, even though. That means it does not fit. Next it is however. However means but, which is a contrast, the opposite idea given to the earlier statement. So this is a perfect fit. If you revise the words with the meanings like this, the upcoming reading fill in the blank tasks will become very easy for you. Now, the next one, the word is so. So means therefore, which is used for result. But here We are looking for the contrast word. So this is not a correct fit again. So option becomes however. So let's put it in the blank and read the sentence again. It is, however, his theories were often challenged by critics who questioned. Okay, so far going well. Who questioned? Now what are the blanks here? It is which, that, what, or whether. The ideal society in his mind could ever exist in reality. So they are asking whether the perfect society which Plato has is real in existence or not. So when it is a question word, which option should we take? Which or that is used to describe the things, not for doubts. So obviously, this is not a good fit for the blank. Similarly, the word what doesn't fit again. Whether is asking for a doubt or a question, whether you will come or not to the class tomorrow. So what is the role of word whether? Whether is used for a doubt or a question. So this is a perfect fit. So now here we have the solved full answer with the correct blanks. Pause the video for a while. Check the answer properly. Revise all the words. Similarly, we solve set 2 and set 3. Now set 2, a little lengthier one in the same way. For our purposes, the words invention and innovation can be used interchangeably. More dash, however, the term invention refers to the discovery of new products or processes, while innovation refers to the commercialization, that is, bringing something to the market of new products or processes. Dash, which are the blank words, however, nevertheless, furthermore, anyway, we can distinguish between product innovations and process innovations. First, understand the context, children. Don't be in a hurry to directly fill the blanks. Don't be in a hurry that your overall reading module paper time will not be sufficient if you go on the way this reading is done. No, this is exactly the case. This is the way you're supposed to do. So read it. Let's fix the story properly. Here, so far, the story was speaking about invention and innovations. Okay, continuing now. Product innovations result. Now we have a list of prepositions on, by, at, or in. The production of a new product, such as the change from a three-wheel car to a four-wheel car, or the change from LP records to CDs. Process innovations increase the what? Altitude, qualification, revenue, or efficiency of the methods of production of existing products. For example, the invention of an assembly line technique dash or the continuation, and in general the use of a new and more scant, snobbish, frugal, abundant raw materials. Okay, so this is how we have read the full story. It is speaking about the production, how innovation and invention really help. Let's go back and solve each blank properly. Read the full blank to get the answer. So it is, for our purposes, the words invention and innovation can be used interchangeably. More dash, what is it? However, the term invention refers to the discovery of new products or processes, while innovation refers to commercialization, bringing something to the market. Commercialization of new products or processes. What is this speaking about? Invention and innovation. What is the blank word here? We have the word however. So what are we exactly going to get? So let's understand the meanings here. It is naturally. Naturally means obviously. So this is not a fit. Expectedly means something which is predictable. You are expecting it, you are predicting it. So this is also not a correct fit. Then it is extensively, which is widely, on a large scale. Even this is not a fit. Especially that means exactly or clearly referring to something. So this happens to be the correct fit. Let's check one more time. For our purposes, the words invention and innovation can be used interchangeably. More specifically, that means more clearly. However, the term invention does this while the term innovation does this. So far, we started very well. Now let's see with the second blank. The sentence starts with a blank with words like however, nevertheless. However, nevertheless are used for contrast. Furthermore is used for continuation. Anyway is a very informal word. So what is the sentence? It says we can distinguish between product innovations and process innovations. Product innovations and process innovations. So how? Which is the fitting blank word for blank 2? However is showing the contrast. But here the sentence is adding something. So however is not a good fit. Nevertheless, which means despite that. This is a contrast word. But here it is not a good fit. Furthermore, in addition, that means that is adding some another point. So this is a perfect fit. Anyway, as I said, it is an informal word and not a good fit because here we want all academic writing words. Answer is furthermore for blank 2. So let's read it one more time. Furthermore, we can distinguish between product innovations and process innovations. Okay. Product innovations result dash the production of a new product such as the change for a 3-wheel car or a 4-wheel car or the change from LP records to CDs. What is the word here? I have to look for a word which is in continuation for the word result. So what prepositions can I use? Is it on? Is it by? Is it at? Or is it in? Understanding clearly the meaning of those prepositions, on is a wrong preposition here. On speaks about the surface. So this is a wrong fit. By is always with an agent. At is not used as because. At is speaking about result. Then it is in. The correct word, the correct collocation, which means result in something. Okay. Continuing. Process innovations increase the altitude, qualification, revenue, or efficiency. What is it increasing? The methods of production of existing products. For example, the invention of an assembly line technique and in general the use of new and more dash raw materials. So something it is increasing. Increasing what? The altitude, qualification, revenue or efficiency. Let's understand with the meanings and go with the correct answer. Blank 4. Altitude speaks about the height, not a correct fit. Qualification is the skill or a certificate. Even this is not a correct fit. Then it is revenue. Revenue is income. Even this is not the correct fit. The last word efficiency, which is speaking about how efficient is something. That means how good something is. So this is the correct answer. Efficiency. The last blank now, where it says, and in general, the use of new and more dash raw materials. So one is the word new. Similar to new, it should be there. And more dash raw materials. So what sort of raw materials are we getting? Scarce or scant means very less, which goes opposite with the context. So it is not a good fit. Snobbish means proud or rude attitude. So even this is not a fit. Then it is frugal, that means using something in little quantities. Not a good fit. Abundant means plenty or large amount of. So the correct answer is abundant. So there are many raw materials or raw resources which they have to use. Pause the video again. Have a quick recap of how the words were being used. Okay. Set 3 now. Again in a similar fashion. Recent developments in artificial intelligence have raised complex ethical questions. Complex is difficult. Ethical is moral related. While these systems are capable of analyzing vast amounts of data, many researchers argue that they still lack. Lack is not available. These words frequently come in your exams, so do remember them. They still lack the human ability to judge situations that require empathy or moral reasoning. Empathy is understanding even without saying. Empathy is understanding even without saying, or moral reasoning. As a result, some experts warn that relying too heavily on AI could dash public trust in critical institutions. Following, governments around the world are attempting to create regulations that balance technological process with social responsibility. However, there is an ongoing debate about dash such regulations can keep pace with the extremely fast evolution of AI. We have read the paragraph which speaks about how AI is becoming very strong in our society. So let's break every blank, going with the blank one first. While these systems are capable of analyzing vast amounts of data, many researchers argue that they still lack. So something is missing. Though there is too much of information, we are able to process too much of data, but still, what are the problems then? They still lack the human ability to judge situations that require empathy and moral reasoning. If anything which is related to empathy or anything which is related to ethics, morals, then these AI tools will not come into our rescue. Okay, continuing this further. As a result, what is happening? As a result, some experts warn that relying too heavily on AI could undermine, accelerate, preserve, or imitate. What is it doing? Imitate public trust in critical institutions. Okay, let's see the word match. The word undermine, which means to weaken or to reduce slowly. So it is a perfect fit because though it is doing something good, it is not really helping us with the empathy or moral reasoning. So the correct answer is for the blank one, undermine. What about the other words? Accelerate is fast or faster, not a fit. Preserve is protect or save, again not a fit. Exactly opposite of what we are looking for in the blank. Imitate is to copy, again not a fit. Let's attack blank 2. Dash. Governments around the world are attempting to create regulations that balance technological process with social responsibility. Because AI does not have empathy and moral reasoning, the governments are looking forward to such responsible acts. So, what is the word here? Is it nevertheless? Is it consequently? Otherwise? Or meanwhile? All the cohesive devices are used here. Cohesive devices are the words used to join the flow of sentences. So here we see nevertheless, which means opposite, contrast, not a result, not a correct fit. Similarly, the word here is consequently, which means as a result, not a perfect fit. Then it is otherwise. Otherwise is if not, not a fit. Meanwhile, at the same time is not a fit. Correct answer is consequently, which is a perfect fit. Now, the blank number 3. However, there is ongoing debate about dash such regulations can keep pace with extremely fast evolution of AI. So there is a debate, there are questions, and just now in our earlier blank also we have seen whenever we ask a question, the correct word is whether, which is for option number 1. Let's see the other options, whichever, what, and how. Whether means for doubt or uncertainty, a perfect fit here. Then it is whichever, which means any that, not a fit. What? The thing which we are talking that is not a fit again. How? In what way? In what way? So this is also not a fit. So here is the full sample answer with the blanks again. Hope the words help you a lot in fixing fill in the blanks. Happy learning, students.